Update. I told my boyfriend that I won't get a job to make him feel less jealous of my financial situation. Original post. I, 23 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 25 male, for a little over a year now. We met through mutual friends and had a pretty normal relationship until now. It wasn't perfect, but we never fought much. He works as a manager in a restaurant while I'm still in university. His life was difficult from the start, since he grew up with alcoholic parents and not much support in general. From day one, he had to work hard for even the most basic things. He couldn't afford higher education. He had to continuously work since he entered adulthood. I, on the other hand, have a big family that always supports each other. When I started university, they continued to support me financially. My parents help with the bills and give me some allowance. My grandparents, aunts and uncles also often send things here and there. I'm on campus for my lectures most of the time, but I also tutor 3 times a week, earning enough money for groceries. I'm good at living below my means and saving, so I don't need much cash. All that background is needed for you to understand where our conflict started. About a month ago, my boyfriend began making little comments about my financial situation. He would say things like, "It's nice to spend someone else's money," or "You wouldn't survive if you had to work for all that money the way I do." I immediately picked up on those comments, but I didn't think it would grow into something more. I thought maybe he was just fussy because he was overworked. I tried to be understanding, knowing it must be difficult for him to work as much as he does. I suggested that maybe we should move in together to lessen the burden of all the bills on him. I even said I could help him with groceries from time to time. He called that insulting and said he could never agree to either of those ideas. Unfortunately, it got worse. It feels like almost every day we fight because he calls me lazy, a trust fund baby, or says I don't know what real life feels like. He also started sending me random job listings, telling me to apply even though I don't have time for those jobs. The biggest fight was yesterday. He came over to my home for dinner, and while I was cleaning, he started talking about another job listing. By that point, I was at my limit, after seeing what felt like the 100th random job offer. I blew up at him, angrily telling him to stop telling me to get a job. That university is my job and my main focus. I must admit, I said some mean things along the lines of, "You only want me to get a job because you're jealous of my situation and my family support." He stormed out and hasn't really talked to me since. He sends short messages back but doesn't pick up his phone. I tried apologizing, but he says he needs time to think everything through. Was I truly that harsh? How do I make him see my point? Or maybe he has a better point and I should deny my family support, filling my schedule to the brim with uni and work? Is there even a way for us to reconcile? Please help. This is my first serious relationship, and I don't want to mess it up. Now for the top advice before reading the update. He's seeing you succeed and wants to bring you down to his level. Don't allow it. I also don't think this is the man for you. If he feels bad about you helping with groceries, how will he feel when you have a university degree and will earn more than him? That's actually a really good point. I'm not studying something that will make me extremely rich, but it is the kind of degree that will allow me to live a very comfortable life. Thank you for giving me something to think seriously about. Never ever neglect your studies. I studied something hard. My family supported me so I could spend all day doing what I'm doing and not waste any time doing a useless job for peanuts. Life isn't fair. Some people have an easier start than others, and that's just reality. If he can't accept that and be happy for you, he has a lot of growing up to do and shouldn't be with you. Don't be with someone who wants to drag you down. He's jealous and taking it out on you. You offered support and he doesn't know how to accept it. This isn't your fault, OP. Don't take his unhealthy reaction as truth. Find someone who celebrates, not berates you for having family support. You're not messing it up, he is. There will be other relationships. This is not the relationship. Your partner should add to your life, not be a source of constant quarreling and anxiety because they keep trying to cause conflict. You stay broken up. You move on. You don't let anyone make you feel bad for not having the same life experiences they did or entitled to dictate your relationship with your family, the course of your studies or career, or any of that. Breakups suck, but wasting years of your life pursuing someone who is not mentally healthy enough to be in a relationship would suck a lot more. Don't waste your life on someone who is obviously not the guy. Now for the update. I thought I should make an update for those who might be curious about how my situation was resolved. A lot of the comments advised me to break up, but I couldn't just do that. I wanted to at least try and talk it out, foolishly hoping that somehow we would find common ground and fix everything. A few days after the fight, he finally called me to set up a meeting to discuss everything. Between the fight and the scheduled meeting, I had been looking for some solution myself. Following advice from here and from my real-life friends, I tried looking for outside support and researched some well-rated but cheap therapists in the area. When we finally met, he was the one who really wanted to speak first. He told me that he appreciated me giving him a few days of space to think things through. Then he said that he hated to do it to me, but he needed to give me an ultimatum. If I wanted to stay with him, I needed to find a job and cut financial support from my family by the end of this month. I could see that no but in the world could sway him to change his mind. I didn't even have a chance to mention the help I'd been researching. I kind of froze for a moment instead. It might sound silly, but I've never experienced love disappear as quickly as it did in that moment. I didn't even know that was possible. His words broke whatever charm he had and made me see that ultimatum for what it truly was. His attempt to manage my life to fit whatever idea he had in his head. All the comments from here flooded my mind as I realized that all of you were correct. Sorry for even doubting you all. I broke things off immediately. I wish I could say that I told him something smart or cheeky, but I literally just said that I was done and left, tearing up the whole way back home. He's called and messaged me a lot since then, saying that maybe we could discuss things, that it doesn't have to be an ultimatum but a goal for the future, etc. But I don't think there's any way to fix things. I'd be lying if I said I don't have any love left for him. It was my first serious relationship that I thought might genuinely last, but now it's turned into my first serious breakup. Things are a bit difficult now as I grieve the idea of my first love, but I know I'll get better sooner or later. Your advice on the last post was very helpful and gave me a lot to think about, so I'd like to ask you for one more piece of advice. If you were me, what would you tell mutual friends in a situation like this? I'm already being asked by our friends about what exactly happened, but I'm worried that if I tell them the truth, this whole drama will continue. People will keep talking about it, and I won't be able to emotionally rest from this situation. I'm tempted to just tell them it was a mutual breakup or something, just to be done with it all and leave it in the past. The fact that he tried to take it back after you said okay says everything. He absolutely is trying to just control you, and he didn't think you'd actually walk. Now he's trying to scramble back. He has an idea in his head of what OP is allowed to get in life, what blessings she's worthy of, and he will make sure that she will not exceed the joy and success that he feels she's allowed to have. He's deliberately sabotaging her out of frustration for his own situation. This is what mental illness looks like. OP need to stay far away from him. OP no meeting him again for closure. You can talk on the phone or not at all. I'm sorry, this man wanted to dull your light. You are fortunate and you know that. Instead of being happy for you, he wants you to be unhappy like him, and he is very jealous. You can do so much better. Up to you what you tell your friends, but if they are mutual, I would tell the truth. He wanted you to get a job, sacrifice school, and cut off your family. And you don't want someone who doesn't support your dreams, so you didn't fall for his ultimatum. Be very glad you aren't pregnant, as often the next step these types of men take is to get you trapped with them. And yes, this is a type of man. There are some who cannot stand to see their partner shine or do better than them. Presumably, when you graduate, you will be able to get a fancier job than him, and he would not like that at all. You were even kind enough to offer he live with you so he could cut his costs. His reaction shows that he has some growing up to do. I am happy you have your family, and you have good study habits and are frugal with money. You will go far, and someday someone will be thrilled to have you in their life and cheer you on. Next story. My boyfriend just admitted that he would not love our kids if they don't look like him. Background info. I am East Asian, 28 female, and my boyfriend is a 32-year-old white male. We've been together for 5.5 years and have always had a really good relationship. At this moment, we are trying to buy a house together. Today I sent him a post about some guy telling his friends that his girlfriend was not his wife type, even though they had dated for 3 years. So I asked my boyfriend, "Am I your wife type?" Then he started talking nonsense, saying that I need to work more on my cooking and so on. I felt hurt and got mad, asking him to confirm if I'm good enough for him. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Then he finally admitted it wasn't about me. In August, some post struck him where he realized he would not love our kids if they didn't look like him. He said he checked lots of Asian/white couples, and the kids always look Asian. He said he couldn't deal with it if his kids looked different and wouldn't like loving them. This totally devastated me. He insisted that he loves me and that this thought hit him in August, but he didn't want to make a wrong move. But I truly can't understand this. If you love someone, why wouldn't you love your kids when they look like the one you love? Anyway, he's coming later today to talk face to face. I love him deeply, and I always thought I was going to have a family with him. I'm so panicked, hurt, and scared. I want to solve this before I give up on him. Kids are my bottom line. But the only thing I can think of now is couples therapy. Is there anything else I should do? Thank you. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Why are you not leaving him when he clearly has no respect for you? Sorry for shouting, but my dear, read what you have written as if it's about someone else. Would you really suggest they work on their relationship? If a 32-year-old man is telling you that you need to work on your cooking skills, you need to respect yourself and get out. If that's not enough, he's already projecting his insecurities onto his unborn children. Does he understand how genetics work and how there's literally zero way to control what a child looks like? I don't know how Asian women continue to pick some of the most racist white guys as partners still in 2025. Even after decades of this, it's still the same. Abysmally low standards, perhaps. Top it off with, he was everything I was hoped for a man, in OP's words. Her story's not new. It's very common. His whiteness/European DNA that desired amongst Asian women? They're willing to subject themselves to disrespect to obtain it. OP keeps saying the signs weren't there, but I bet there were but were not directed at her. And she let a lot of things slide for a white man she wouldn't for, say, an Asian or non-white man. OP needs to examine why she's with him in the first place. A lot of Asian women need to. But I think the whiteness the boyfriend wants to keep is exactly the whiteness OP wants in her children. She's still grasping for straws to hang on to, despite knowing this is a terrible situation all around. The Asian, particularly women, obsession for white men/people needs to be studied. It's a phenomenon that spans anywhere, across continents where white people and Asian people interact. Truly deserves its own paper and discourse. No other group comes close. Why do Asian women make a million excuses for white guys like this? It's not like they're treated good by their white partners anyway. Now for the first update. To add a bit about our relationship, he was everything I hoped for in a man. Always there for me when I needed him. And he's the one who always cooks, so I can partly understand his cooking comment and so on. We had a talk. He said he waited to see if this was just a phase or a feeling he couldn't get rid of. So after 3 months of thinking, he made his decision to break up with me at the end of October, but didn't know how to tell me and didn't want to hurt me. What a joke. He admitted he only wants white children and couldn't explain why it took him so long to figure it out. He said he's perfectly happy with our relationship and that this is the only reason to break up. This whole thing feels like a dream. How could it take someone so many years to realize this? I'm completely lost and broken. Thanks for your replies. Second update. People, we already broke up after the talk. I can no longer love him the moment he said therapy wouldn't work and that he had already made his decision. I'm an independent woman who earns a decent living, is highly educated, and fit. I loved him for who he is, not because he's white. This will be a long journey, but I will heal eventually. Last story. I just found out my partner was hiding $80,000 of debt. I 37 male just found out my 37 female partner's student loan debt is essentially double what I expected. I have been supporting my partner to go to school over the last several years. I have co-signed loans and just paid for semesters. She has failed classes and had to retake things, but that's not relevant. I understand we're very fortunate to be in the position we are. I knew some of the loans had really bad interest rates, and I asked her over 9 months ago to look into refinancing, which never happened. In the meantime, we had a kid, so a lot has been going on. I got a bug up my butt and finally set aside the time to go through the process and see what rate we could get. I expected there to be around $70,000 worth of debt. The actual amount is $150,000. There are so many financial decisions in the last 7 years since we got engaged that I would have made differently if I had known there was this much debt. She comes from a poor family with little to no financial literacy, and so I believe her when she said she just wasn't paying attention and didn't realize it was that much. But damn it. Now we have a kid, and I would have to pay for a nanny to watch said kid so she could continue school. And perhaps the thing that eats at me is, I don't see the effort or struggle to ensure she graduates and can get a job after graduation. Like, she's failed classes while also putting in hundreds of hours in Diablo 4. So I just don't know how to feel. I want to support her dreams. She's a wonderful person. But she does not heed my advice about how damn competitive it is out there, and she could be doing drills or making side projects outside of class to help differentiate herself. The idea of go to college and get a job is just trashed in tech. You got a degree? Well, they got a degree, had internships, a personal Git repo, and open source commits. It's so competitive. I've essentially paid for her to live and go to school for years, and I wanted all of that. I accepted that was what we were doing as a unit. This unexpected debt has really upset me because I don't know. I've given so much. And maybe I feel like I'm being taken advantage of, or that my contribution isn't being respected. How am I supposed to tell the love of my life that I can't keep supporting her at the level I have been? Because, well, she accidentally hid all this debt that I'm now on the hook for. I'm just not sure how to feel. Edit. We are married. I did not co-sign on this debt I didn't know about, but we're married. It's sort of our burden, not just hers. Why on earth were you paying for their schooling while they were failing classes, and both of y'all not keeping up with how much student loan debt they had? On top of that, you added a kid to this mess. You both need lessons in financial literacy. Co-signing loans, having a kid, financial mess, lies, more hidden debt, lies, time to abandon ship. What a disaster. I would say failing classes is very relevant. Why did you co-sign loans for someone you're not married to? How long has she been in school? More than the 7 years? $150,000 in loans is an egregious amount in loan debt for someone that sounds like they're nowhere near completing a degree. Sounds like she's treating college like a side quest/game rather than an actionable accomplishment to further the future. This is such a mess, dude.